Boo! Did I scare any of y'all? Alright, anyways, hello and welcome to the first match of Touhou Project Mania Cup number 4. The first match of the group stage weekend, as it's going to be closing out in this weekend. We're going to be having our first match on a Friday. It's going to be none other than blue-haired Yuuka, seed 61 against Team Blue, which is AKatsuki, seed 46. So on the side of blue-haired Yuuka, we got the likes of Matcha Latte, So Sick, So Sad, and Nepia. Gonna go up against the likes of Sick Bloom, Clock, Kiss No Look, and also... whoops. Wait. I didn't even see the last player. Renshaw, yeah. But without further ado, I'm your host, Epic Mansu, and joining alongside me in the commentary booth is going to be none other than Black T12. What's rockin'?
Hello, everyone. It's my honor to be here. Also, I think I know Blue Team very well because Blue Team is my friends here. So I think it is pretty interesting to see them facing against their opponents. And I'm really hyped for this match. I hope we can win.
Indeed. So both teams got like a fair share of like pretty notable names to see here. We can see that blue-haired Yuuka is like sort of like well-versed in terms of like their scores, as we can see in the qualifier stages, but not as like sort of advanced as not as advanced as AKatsuki on the other hand, which is like basically gone like a very overall higher seed on like majority of the maps here, as we can see. But for blue-haired Yuuka, just barely like just like sort of averaging around like maybe the 60 seeds mark, except from LN2, which was, I believe, which was 7th though by High Lottle. This is like, I believe this was like one of the few hard like LN maps that was in the pool, but also AKatsuki gonna be like a pretty like tough team to face here for the likes of blue-haired Yuuka here, considering that they've gone like overall higher seed on like practically most of the maps, like not just the Rice but also the hybrids. So but to be fair, I think both teams are going to be doing very well regardless here.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, we don't have warm-ups here, so let's check our their rules.
Oh, so we're not doing warm-ups here?
Yeah, we don't have warm-up in this tournament.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Alright. I suppose then, like, the next thing to, like, really look out for is gonna be, like, seeing both the teams, like, pulling out their roles. So, I believe Matcha Latte and Loom gonna be, like, rolling, considering that I believe they're the team captains for their individual teams here, if I am not mistaken. Yeah. Yeah, as we wait for the... Yeah, so as we wait for both of the teams to basically, like, roll, what do we know about them so far, really?
I actually have no idea. I didn't study, sorry. But, anyways, I'm still rooting for Blue Team because, yeah, I talked that earlier.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like, this is, like, the first match, so, things are probably gonna be, like, so things are probably gonna, like, develop a bit more, like, later down the line when we, just, like, have some more, like, matches down, considering that there's gonna be quite a bunch of matches to go through during this weekend, considering that there's a lot of teams, like, going to be facing each other, like, in the remaining of the group stage here, but yeah.
We're still waiting for Team Red because we need 2 players here to start our roll.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair with like both of these teams, I think they're like just sort of like just like maybe trying to strategize like what they should do after the rolls, considering that usually the rolls phase is basically to decide like what you want to strategize in terms of like protecting or banning like against the opposing team, in terms of like what maps would be in their advantage, and like just like essentially like just also banning like stuff that might not be in your best advantage. So I think both the teams here might probably be gauging like what they want to like do here, but aside from that, they're taking quite a bit to decide.
Personally, I think blue team should just pick most of the classic pool here, because classic pool is way harder than our other pool.
Yeah, AKatsuki being a pretty like well-rounded team in general, and also like just overall like being sort of like more like well-versed when it comes to the nitty-gritty of maps. I could definitely see them protecting like one of the classic maps in question, but like in a as opposed to blue-haired Yuuka here, considering that they did a bit better on the Ellen maps than practically everything else on the qualifiers. But as we can see, we're going to be seeing much a lot. So you're going to be rolling a 30 for blue-haired Yuuka, and Clock going to be rolling a 60 for AKatsuki. So I think that pretty much decides like what the winner of the rolls is going to be early on. So to see what the protects are going to be is yet to be seen.
Alright, first protect in our tournament, blue team protect rice tube map. And now for the red team.
Yeah, blue-haired Yuuka probably gonna want to like try and aim for maybe protecting LN2 if I'm not mistaken, or at least LN1, or maybe any of the LNs here. But as we can see, gonna be protecting Necrophantasia. That's going to be LN1, the coordination pick. Also a custom map by Esmer, as we can see here. Quite the pretty simplistic choices right out the bat, so I guess here we're going to be seeing what both of these teams are going to be banning. I think blue-haired Yuuka might like opt in for a ban on either a rice map or a hybrid map here. Probably going to go for something like and they're going to be going for rice priest, so that's going to be what's this map called? Going to be Maigo no Echo by Scoliosis ET. I believe this was like a pretty like bursty map in terms of rice, so AKatsuki probably going to want to ban an Ellen map in response.
Yeah, I do think blue team should ban the Ellen map here.
Yeah, going by qualifier results, I think AKatsuki probably would want to like favor banning LN2, and that's exactly what they're going to be banning out here. So, what a coincidence! Well, with that out the way, both teams basically haven't completed both teams haven't completed like both. No,
they have double ban here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, in group stage we have double ban.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, it's my first time
it's okay.
Group stage, but I think if blue-haired Yuuka had opted in for a rice free ban earlier, they're probably gonna want to ban. Oh, they're gonna be banning hybrid too, so that's gonna be. Yeah, they're gonna be banning 66 Ondo by YuEast. So this was like the Ellen bias hybrid, if I believe.
I think they did a mistake. I think red team doesn't know there is double ban in this tournament. I mean in the group stage. So I think they want to pick Hybrid 2, but instead ban it.
Yeah, I feel like that might be the case, considering that oh, and it seems that AKatsuki's gonna be banning LN1s, so that's gonna be Werewolf House going out, being taken off the equation here. This being like pretty like rigid like Ellen map from MWC 2021 semis, and also like various other tournaments such as Touhou Cup Third and Tournament 3.0. I could definitely see why they would have opted in for banning this one, since it's sort of like rigid in terms of like its use in just Ellen maps and just Ellen patterns in general, in terms of like how the coordination works in it.
But we are seeing Bryce 1 here, which is a jump stream map, if I remember correctly.
So that's going to be none other than Akaboshi Rocket by GB Raisin. So this being like a relatively easy or just like slow like sort of jump stream map, just sort of like to maybe like just introduce like what this map pool sort of like consists of. Really, I could definitely see why this would have been like a pretty fair choice to start off with, especially considering that AKatsuki might like believe that they have the advantage on Rice so far, just based off qualifier results here. But because this is like easy, along with like the rest of the regular maps in the pool, bar the tiebreaker, this might like be subject to being proven wrong, in my opinion. Yeah, gonna seeing both of these teams like get through the intro, getting into this jump stream oriented section. Both the score just flickering between the two. Ramchong gonna be taking an early miss. That's going to give blue-haired Yuuka the score advantage just early on, getting into the first verse. That's going to be a bit of a problem early on in the group stage, especially with like the map being as easy as this. It's not a good sign like at all, if I was to like point out one and whatnot.
Red team somehow still holding their act. But Kayla just having the highest accuracy here with a 99.93.
Yeah, so far, pretty much like all the players like having very similar accuracies to each other, besides Clock having like the highest accuracy so far, but it's going to be dropping a bit down to under the 99.90% mark due to like some sort of act drop here. So basically just equalizing the accuracies between all the players, but just basically like decreasing like the chances of being able to pull the score lead back onto the side of AKatsuki here, as we can see, unfortunately for them. Yeah, getting into like this relatively tricky like section, just all the players like just skimming through it relatively unscathed, not making yet another mistake here as we get into the halfway mark of the map. This is a map that clocks in at only 3.5 minutes, so practically any mistake can happen here. But as we can see, like So Sick So Sad gonna be like taking a bit of an act drop somewhere along the way, while Matcha Latte just brings their accuracy back to around the 99.90% mark, holding the strongest accuracy of their team so far. But So Sick So Sad gonna be taking a miss. That's going to bring the score lead back to AKatsuki here, and it's a bit of a dangerous sign as well, considering that there's only like just a quarter of the map left, and it's also relatively bursty in this section as well.
Oh, but Ramchong also find a miss here. But they still have a score advantage here, but the score difference is still decreasing here.
Oh my god, wait. No, the score is like so tight right now. This is only the group stage and we're already having like a very close match for literally the first ever match in this tournament. That's kind of scary, but like just getting through this final section, both teams gonna have to like try and lock in, but blue-haired Yuuka taking a bit of an accuracy drop along the way. That's going to give AKatsuki a very slight lead, but can they like keep it for much longer as the map closes out right now?
Oh, but Ramjo finds
No!
Oh no! The
Oh my
last drop.
god!
Oh, that's so unfortunate for the blue team here.
Bro, that was a very scary pick to start off with. It's even
Yeah,
scarier if you consider the fact that Ramchong here has the strongest ratio, like, in the lobby right now. But because of the misses, it just went. But because of the misses, it like sort of like let their score falter behind a bit, which is a pretty big mistake to make in a match like this, really.
yeah, and red team also got a breakpoint here. Winning blue team's peak here. And now they're peaking hybrid one.
Yeah, Akatsuki, yeah. Blue Hair Juke are gonna be wanting to like counter their pick with Hybrid 1 or something like that. It's a pretty like understandable pick, but at the same time, like seeing both these teams earlier, this might be a pretty like dangerous like map, especially considering that all the players were like relatively equalized. It's just a matter of like consistency that really like makes the game here, in my opinion. Here,
Yeah, definitely. But blue team decided, cause no look here. Can't play this map.
yeah, I think. Oh, sorry.
No, you first.
All right. Yeah, I think so far, like getting into this match, I think Blue Hair Yuuka might feel a bit confident on this pick, considering that like this is like one of those maps that's like a bit closer to like LN than like the considering that there was quite a bit of LN maps that have been banned off from earlier, especially given that LN2 and Classic LN1 are not going to be eligible to be picked in this match due to being banned from earlier. But so far so good. Akatsuki gonna be maintaining like a pretty like slim score lead, but it's pretty dangerous considering that it can just change at any moment. But as I say, that's so sad. Probably gonna be solidifying their score lead for the time being, just because of a pretty rigid like rice burst that happened somewhere along the way.
I was about to say that I think this map gonna still be a pretty close one, but yeah, so 6 souls that final drop here gonna be giving the point away to the blue team here.
Yeah, to be fair, like I think both these teams are gonna be like probably like winning. I think both these teams are probably gonna want to like try and capitalize off of like this pick, considering that it has some relatively light coordination like patterns scattered throughout the map, along with some other like patterns here, such as this like sort of jump stream organ section with some mini jacks here and bursts whatnot. So, but so far, Akatsuki still gonna be like just thriving off of this, based off like the pretty dramatic drop that So Sick So Sad had taken like earlier on in the map.
K-Lock is still holding an insane accuracy here, holding 99.9 here.
Yeah, so far, like, all the players having relatively similar act, but Clock, once again, like, a bit ahead of the equation here, ahead of, like, everyone else in this scenario, considering that holding on to this 99.90% accuracy mark, that just like thriving off this map without any mistakes so far, and basically just thriving, and just like, oh no, like any like mistake that Blue Hair Yuuka making, any of the mistakes Blue Hair Yuuka making on this map is basically helping them quite a bit, especially considering So Sick So Sad had like faltered multiple times, like during like various like dense parts in this map especially, which is not the best sign for them in my opinion. But with that out of the way, both teams going to be tying their scores up early on into the match. Now AKatsuki winning off of each other's picks so far. AKatsuki is gonna want to try and pick a map that is most likely gonna be in their favor, considering that obviously we've seen Rice 1 and Hybrid 1 picked out so far. Maybe they can try and go for something that's a bit denser. So we're gonna be seeing Rise 2 picked out. That's the Chord Jack map of this map pool. Not gonna be none other than Azakari no Yugi by GB Vito coming out.
If I remember correctly, this is a protect by the blue team here.
Indeed it is.
But anyways, this is a Jack map. And as far as I know, Kisano Luke is a Jack player, so I'm expecting a pretty high accuracy on this map from him.
Definitely could understand why they would have picked out a Chord Jack map out the hat like earlier on in this match, but it's gonna definitely be pretty dangerous for blue-haired Yuuka here, considering that we can see that AKatsuki is like relatively like strong when it comes to the fields of Rice especially, and Kisano Look being a relatively strong Jack player, as you said, it's going to be it's probably going to be a bit of a dangerous pick for blue-haired Yuuka unless something happens, especially on top of the fact that this map is really, really short, clocking in at only 1 minute and 38 seconds. It's probably one of the shortest maps in this map pool, if I've seen any.
But looks like Kisano Luke is not going to play this map. Oh, no.
Oh, it's going to be Ramchong. Alright.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought he gonna play this map. But because Ramchong was holding the highest ratio in the lobby when we're picking Rice 1, I think it's reasonable.
Yeah. To be fair, Ramchong having like the highest accuracy from Rice 1 from earlier.
First pick.
Yeah. It might like be sort of understandable why they would pick them out for this pick, but then again, like the consistency issues from earlier took a bit of a toll on the score of AKatsuki Den. So like to see like how this pick is gonna be going is, I guess we'll just have to see how it goes out, because like it's either that like AKatsuki is gonna be like taking this point through raw consistency alone, or some pretty dramatic mistake might happen, especially considering that any mistake on a map like this, that's like very early game relatively, is gonna cost you so much, like respectively.
Oh, but So6 was finding the drop here. Oh, that's gonna be pretty bad for Red Team here.
Yes, yeah. AKatsuki gonna be capitalizing off of So6 SoSad's pretty big drop for, once again. It's basically going to cost them the match almost. And it's pretty disrespectful as well, considering that Matcha Latte basically matching the accuracies from both players on AKatsuki. It's going to be really dangerous for them if both the players on AKatsuki just remain their score so far. Considering that I don't think it's possible for So6 SoSad to be able to like maintain their like on a pretty strong accuracy at this point now, as the map closes out like just shortly after it began. It is that short in retrospective.
The blue team here is, what is that ratio?
Oh my god, Matcha Latte and Ramchong are literally only one perfect apart. I think that just says a lot already about like how some maps like might be in this match, but I think this is like one of the only few maps that really like sort of opens the door for such a thing, in my opinion. But despite that, AKatsuki gonna be getting their second point, and blue-haired Yuuka gonna be going for the immediate classic Rice 2 pick. So that's going to be far away by YuEast. So this one being a relatively old map, but also like pretty rigid in terms of like Rise technicality, considering the amount of bursts and Majax that are in this. I can definitely see why blue-haired Yuuka would have opted in for picking this, but especially against AKatsuki, it might be a bit dangerous. Like, especially factoring in like the consistency that we've seen from like so sad no so sad from earlier. It might be a bit of a dangerous like pick, but we'll just have to see, really.
I remember this is a mixed rice. I'm not pretty sure. Oh,
Oh,
looks like we have an issue here.
it happens.
Yeah, that's normal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just gonna be waiting a bit for the stream to line up a bit once more, but I think things should. I think the next match should be like underway relatively soon. And after a small bit, it seems like we're gonna be like up and running again, considering the players have all sent out their good luck outcomes.
Oh, we're back.
Oh. Yeah, that was a bit of a client issue, but I don't think it really like means way too much now, considering that the map has basically just begun. We're sort of introduced to like this very sort of light like intro of like some anchors and Allens here. So, but the real source of the map is going to be starting like relatively soon, just shortly after this sort of like introductory section as well. So, or to sort of like introduce you like the details of what the map is to entail of, as we can see here, so getting some of these like pretty like rigid Majax here and throwing off one of the players off blue-haired Yuuka. That's gonna give AKatsuki a bit of a small advantage, but Clock going to be taking a miss. That's going to give blue-haired Yuuka the score advantage early on, but so sick, so sad, gonna be trading it back. That's going to give AKatsuki the advantage so far and basically solidifying it now.
Looks like So Sick, So Sad can't handle this pattern. This pattern is too hard for him. Consider their accuracy is quite a bit low, but Ramchon also find a miss here. But I don't think the score difference gonna let the red team catch up, but it's still decreasing here. Oh, but Sophie's not gonna find another drop here. I think that gives the point away to the blue team.
Yeah, both basically pretty much everyone else but Matcha Latte just trading misses with each other. That's basically probably spelled the point already, considering the amount of times that the combo has been reset for like all the players. So the scores like between each of the players, bar Matcha Latte here, who's basically hanged on to the strongest accuracy so far. It's basically just been like a bit all over the place, but in the end, there's not enough of the map left to go. So that's going to give this next point to AKatsuki, bringing them to the match point already early into this match. Definitely something you don't want to face off against early into the tournament like this.
Also, I have to mention that in the lower bracket, it's basically a single elimination here. So if you lose this match, you're out of this tournament.
Yeah, this is gonna be just making matters like a bit worse for the likes of blue-haired Yuuka here, considering that they've had like quite a variety of like issues they had encountered like during this match as well, and only just being able to capitalize up, just being able to catch a point based off like the raw like mistakes that Ramchong had made on Rice 1 as well. But AKatsuki gonna be bringing out Rice 4, so I believe this was like the final remaining Rice map, like in the map pool, besides the classic Rice map. This is probably gonna be really dangerous for blue-haired Yuuka if they still like if they still have the same like sort of consistency issues as earlier. But yeah, once again, all the players going to be sending out their good luck, have funs. This is going to be none other than me going out right now, and so far being introduced to the map with some bursts here and some like pretty light mini jacks. This was one of the few customs that was made in as part of the regular map pool in this map pool. So basically all players going to be like skimming through this intro section without much problems so far. AKatsuki with the upper hand just only by a bit, so like any mistake here can basically cost them the score lead just early on, and that's something that they don't want here, that they can't afford here, especially considering that now there are circumstances that they can just end the match here like however they will. But blue-haired Yuuka probably going to be wanting to prevent that from happening, preventing the reverse sweep from happening early on. Just going to capitalize off of both players of AKatsuki going to be missing early on. That's going to give them the 10,000 point lead. Just getting into the back of the chart now.
Matcha is still holding an insane accuracy here, 99.92. What a beast here.
Absolutely. Chalotte hanging onto the highest that's basically just boosting the score lead for blue-haired Yuuka, and especially like throughout this whole match in general, just like proving to be a bit of a monster when it comes to these Rice maps in general, just like matching the players on AKatsuki, and probably if not like just basically like outmatching them on various maps as well that are like harder in comparison as we've seen from classic Rice 2. And as we can see here, blue-haired Yuuka has basically just prevented themselves from making any more mistakes throughout this map, so that's going to give them the second point already on, as there's basically not enough time in the map for maps to change, really.
Very unfortunate misses from the blue team. But the next pick from the red team is gonna be pretty important because, oh, they're picking LN1 here.
Yep. Gonna be picking LN1. It's gonna be the Necro.
Yeah, your mic is cutting out.
Oh.
It's okay.
Whoops. But yeah, this is gonna be like the final map of this match before it, because like now it's either that AKatsuki is gonna be wanting to try and win off of this pick, or they're gonna have to both face each other in the tiebreaker, which is gonna be like probably the most nerve-wracking situation for like all the players here, considering that all of them probably gonna want to like try and get into the round 32 bracket like following this, as this is basically the final week for the group stage to happen.
Imagine our first match in this tournament will be a tiebreaker match.
It's crazy to think about, honestly.
Yeah, especially it's in the lower bracket.
Yeah. But I think both these teams are gonna be doing really well regardless. Blue-haired
Yeah.
Yuuka gonna try and Blue-haired Yuuka here basically just has like no options really, other than like to just try and force a tiebreaker if they want to be able to stay in the equation. Because like once again, this is a really dangerous like situation to be in early into the tournament, especially on a group stage. Just the fact that one of these teams just not going to be able to make it into the real tournament itself, only after like getting out of the qualifiers and whatnot.
Oh, is that a client issue?
I think it
Oh,
must have been.
oh
Oh wait, no, I don't
no.
think it was. But that was the one but that was like very early into the map itself, so I don't think it really matters way too much. But then again, So Sick So Sad's accuracy on the LNs here is kind of concerning, especially given the other team here, who's like considering the players on the other team, Kiss No Look and Clocker, who's like basically maintaining like pretty high accuracy so far, so good.
Yeah, so sad finding 2 drop, giving the winning chance to blue team. Somehow their accuracy is still decreasing as too many 200 and 100 there.
Yeah, in general, coordination maps that are like as slow as and easy as this one, it doesn't like instantly mean that they're gonna be like the easiest like maps of a map pool, especially considering that the main like difficulty that comes with them is just the nerves. So like the nerves probably affecting So Sick So Sad like really badly here, or getting into the halfway mark of the map already. AKatsuki still hanging on to the 30,000 point lead. I don't think it's going to be changing unless a massive meltdown happens on the side of AKatsuki here, considering that the map is still relatively short, just under 3 minutes or something. There has to be something that Blue-haired Yuuka has up their sleeve to be able to just give themselves the lead again.
So that finding another drop. Looks like there is no more chance for the red team, because K-Lock is still holding instant accuracy in this map, 99.89. How?
I don't know. Players these days are just cracked. Even in the early games, like this sort of map, like years ago, was like basically like so difficult in the olden days. But now we just see like players left and right just being able to act this like it's just nothing. Especially just having inverse patterns like this that are just so tight and so far already throwing off So Sick So Sad very badly. That's basically just costed Blue-haired Yuuka the entire point. And I don't think there's any like going back here unless something happens. Like if one of the players on AKatsuki disconnects, but even that is like basically impossible now. Unfortunately for them.
That's a GG here.
But yeah, unfortunately for Blue-haired Yuuka, despite like some picks that were relatively like dangerous and like just nerve-wracking in general, Matcha Latte, despite how the amount of effort they had pulled out from this match alone, it's not going to be enough at the end of the day, as AKatsuki going to be winning off of that pick and basically advancing on to the round of 32, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. This definitely could have gone to tiebreaker had it not been for like a pick that threw one of the players on the other team off. But at the end of the day, gonna be at the end of the day.
Yeah,
I
but
hope both the
AKatsuki
players
still need to win one more match in order to advance to the round 32.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, the other match, Chibi vs the boys, Chibi wins the match. I remember they are in the upper bracket, so that means Chibi 10 will get into the round of 32, and the boys gonna go to the lower bracket here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's my first time commentating a group stage, so I don't know like way too much about this sort of stuff off the top of my head. But yeah, Blue Hair Yuuka are going to be unfortunately knocked out of the tournament already. There were a team that had a bunch of potential like already, like just like they could have definitely pulled a bit of an upset, but because of like a bunch of consistency issues, it really took a toll on their chances of like being able to compete with the likes of higher like sort of standard players in general.
Yeah, very unfortunate for them. But anyways, that is our first match, and thank you guys for staying here with us, and thank you Epic Man too. I thank you for carrying me by commentating.
Anytime, bro. I just do what I can, you know.
Yeah, huge thanks for you.
Yeah. But anyways, these were basically the only matches that were happening today, so I think it's safe to say we can end it off here. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we end off the stream, Black Tea?
Nothing, and yeah, goodbye.
Alright, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you later. Peace.